fresh.
Live.
Not
Jason
holograms.
and Craig to catch up on all things zombies. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hey, John.
Hey, John, it's good to be here.
All right, so for zombies, in today's blog post, we mentioned that there's a new experience coming in March, which we'll get to in a moment. But we've got the name to reveal. We've got some stuff for today.
Some stuff.
So
it might be an idea to kind of recap a little bit where we're up to.
I like where you're going. It's like you're in my head thinking my thoughts. Go with that.
See that? That was me transmitting the idea to
it
you,
worked.
John. So, obviously, with launch of Black Ops 4, we've kind of had more maps than we've ever had at this stage. So it's, been really funny that we had our 2 Chaos maps at launch and our 2 Ether maps. And then we had the Dead of the Night, which is a little bit of a palate cleanser, but now it's time to announce that after all the craziness that the characters went through in Voyage of Despair and 9, they are now going to be going somewhere else, and that is going to be the focus of our next map. Now, what's fun about this is, with all those launch maps, things were a little bit crazy for the characters and the community, but now those guys know what's going on a little bit more, so they are going somewhere new, somewhere they're already on the journey to, and people have seen the outros, will have an idea about this. We are going to Greece, and we are specifically going to Delphi. Delphi! What do you know about Delphi, Jason?
It's in Greece.
It is. Right. Plenty more facts like that coming up.
It's called expert knowledge.
But what, now that people and the characters understand the rules of the Chaos story a little bit more, we're going to do something interesting here, because we are actually going to be visiting a world where a Sentinel trial has been running for a very, very, very long time, because as some people will discover, Sentinel trials tend to end when they are completed or when everybody dies. So in our new level, there are some other characters knocking about.
Yes.
And you're going to have to find out about them and what role they play and why this trial is continuing and where it's ultimately going to lead them.
Because all our previous maps, we saw the trial start.
Oh, yeah.
So this is the first one where this trial's been running, as Craig said, for a very long time.
All right.
Long time.
So in addition to, we teased the key art this morning. We've got an image of that Tommy can throw up, but we also have a name.
There we
There
go.
we go, lovely.
Boom. Ancient Evil.
Ancient Evil.
Ancient Evil.
Yeah.
Like I said, a long time. That's what ancient means.
We were like, how do we hint to the audience?
Get the thesaurus out, Jason.
Yes. Ancient Evil.
So yeah, as I say, this one is it's the kind of map that I really like, where there's a lot of events and characters and significant story shifts within the map. I mean, going back to what we were talking about before, there's some things hanging over our characters. If you saw the outros of Voyage of Despair and 9, and all of those things will come into play. People they've been under the influence of drugs, but some of them, as players will know, are also under the influence of some other forces, and all of that is going to come to bear in Ancient Evil.
So I believe that there's a little bit of news that you wanted to share in terms of sort of the twisting and turning of the storyline and sort of where it's headed.
Yeah, so this map represents the last map of the Chaos story for this season. So
Jason, where are you going with this?
So
what could it mean?
So this is the cliffhanger here.
Maybe a step too far, but it's cool.
He can go higher in pitch if he tries. So this is
the wrong pants.
this is the last one of the Chaos story for this season.
For this season.
So the next 2, so going into our DLC 3 and DLC 4, will be back to the Ether storyline.
It's one of those things. You know how Jason and I have often said we like to have our cake and eat it? It's nice the fact that we're going to have a kind of nice even split, 4 and 4, between Ether and Chaos, because we still enjoy them.
Yeah, we like our cake and eat it, and a small cake factory on the side as well.
And a second cake.
Yeah.
All right, so there's all of that cake coming in March, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there aren't any updates, double negative, sorry. There are updates coming tomorrow when...
Cupcakes.
We got some updates coming tomorrow.
We're just going to shout bakery things out.
DEFCON 5, go.
DEFCON 5,
Gauntlet.
new gauntlet for Classified. And then we also have a new gauntlet for Blood of the Dead as well, which is Helcatraz. Interesting little story there. Helcatraz was actually the dev name of Mob of the Dead when we first made it, way back when. So we thought, as a little homage, we would
an homage to ourselves.
Yeah, there's actually a picture of sitting around the office that says Helcatraz that we mocked up when we were thinking of Mob of the Dead in the very beginning. So there we go.
I mean, there's some footage on here of the Gauntlets, but One of the things that appeals to me about the Gauntlets, and I think I've made no mistake about not being a particularly good player, I'm not as bad as sometimes we've said. But the fun thing about the Gauntlets is Jason's nodding, that's not fair. The fun thing about the Gauntlets is it does let people experience some of the features and bosses and enemies and stuff that they normally wouldn't get to in the course of amateur play, shall we say. So, you know, it can really help educate you about a level as well. So that's one of the fun things I like about Gauntlets.
Yeah, and it's, you know, so when we first brought Gauntlets out, we didn't know how it was going to be received, and we got an overwhelming kind of positive response in terms of people like mixing up the gameplay. So we've been listening to that feedback, so we've changed some of our rules or adapted to that feedback, and so those are in Alcatraz and in DEFCON 5. But yeah, as Craig says, it's really good for kind of beginners because it'll teach you about a level, you know, hey, tell you about a shield, tell you about certain weapons and usage. But then it's also good for advanced players because it tests you in different ways as you get further up. And obviously it's same as last time, which is 3 sets of 10 levels each to get all the way through a gauntlet.
We've also got the Ethereal Razor perk coming tomorrow.
Yes.
Great name.
Yeah, literally hours were spent on that name. Yeah, I'll leave it for the community to discover, but essentially it's a perk which has a buff to your knife or to your melee weapon, and it allows you to gain health when attacking the undead.
I also believe that you've got plans to support signature weapons and throwing in some additional tier skips along the way.
Yes, so let's start with tier skip. So tier skip currently, if you play to round 15 on a daily basis, you get the tier skip. Now in this next update, daily callings will also give you that tier skip. So that'll be 2 tier skips possible per day. That's a mouthful. Is 2 tier skips now possible from the Friends of the Zombies? Yeah. And signature weapons as well, they're coming in. Yeah.
Shortly, we will have David Vonderhaar and Matt Schrantz on to talk all things Blackout. And we've got a special video that we want to share with anyone. What would you guys like to, anything that you'd like to wrap up on with any updates tomorrow, anything about what is to come between now and March? And if not, what are we going to watch?
So I'll
more things coming.
More things
coming.
Yes,
always.
more things coming. I think we've got blogs and other things kind of that'll, I don't want to spill all the beans right now. So I'll leave that alone.
Sure.
But the video coming up is our director's music video that we always do for Dead of the Night.
Yeah, which was one of the funnest maps to work on.
Yeah,
with the cast and just some of the ideas in it. It's one of my favourite ones to play. I like following ghosts around, which is why I work so closely with Jason.
There we go. There we go.
So yeah, it's kind of it's full rock and roll.
All right, outstanding. Well, then on that note, we will throw it to Dead of the Night.